Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and welcome. You are on the mountain with Rick, and it is time for an interview. But first, coffee, as if that surprises anybody. And Booyah Raven, the lovely and beautiful multi talented musician from Germany, beloved from Rising Star. How are you doing today?
Thanks. I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How do you take your coffee, Raven?
I actually don't drink coffee, so not
You,
good
you,
habit.
what? You don't drink coffee?
Not really.
I just saw the mug, so I assumed, and there I go, starting off the interview, putting my foot firmly and thoroughly all up in my mouth. Would you look at that? So, what is it? Tea then?
Yes, it's tea.
What kind of tea are you drinking?
It's peppermint tea.
Alrighty, good stuff, delicious stuff. My lady always makes sure to keep some of that on hand as well. So, how are you feeling today? How are things across the
I'm
pond?
I'm okay. I was sick for 3 months, so I'm still recovering, but I'm much better now. So I hope it will just be gone in a few days, and then I will be fine again.
Oh crap! Well, welcome back. I'm sorry to hear that, but glad you're on the mend. That's definitely not the best way to be going through things. Sorry to hear it.
Yeah.
How bad did you get?
I don't know. I was just sick and sick, and every time it got a little bit better, then I just had a new infection, and for 3 months. The winter is very hard here. Everybody's sick, so I don't know. Hope it will be gone as soon as spring comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Very sorry to hear that. Actually, I was gonna kind of ask about that because I'll be honest, I have no idea like what the climate in Germany is actually like. So winters are pretty fierce over there.
Yeah, it's not so cold and it's not so much snow, but it's just gray and rainy for like 5 months.
Oh,
So it's not good for the health. Yeah.
so it's just Seattle, but for an extended period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hate this weather. I hate it so much. I'm a summer person, so I can't wait till the sun comes out again.
Oh well, I'll trade you. You can have Florida all day, every day. I'll take the rainy, dreary. So where in Germany are you?
I'm near Frankfurt am Main, if you know this.
Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like I know the geography of Germany at all. I know clips and phrases of German. I took a few years of it in high school, and like I used to work at the number two German restaurant here in the country. That's actually where my fiance is right now. She's a waitress there, and like
Mm.
that's so I'm familiar with it at least more than most. I would say most Americans hear Germany, and the picture that immediately is conjured up in most people's minds is 80 years ago, and that's unfortunate, and it's not fair, and it's nothing like what's over there now. But I honestly can't say that I have any experience of the current either. When I was coming back from Okinawa, I had a layover in a German airport for like an hour. So I have gotten to taste Heineken fresh out of the tap, but like that's pretty much it. I can't say I've ever experienced Germany. Honestly, I haven't even experienced much of anything in Europe. A lot more Asia and whatnot.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm based like in the middle of Germany, I would say. So not on a coast or anything. I'm near the biggest airport of Europe, so it's not far away. That's pretty good for getting anywhere I want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful. I actually, if you had asked me where was the biggest airport in Europe, Germany would not have been my first guess. Is it the pretty much the central location that makes it
Yeah. Yes.
just easier on the road to everywhere? Gotcha.
Right. But I live in a very small town. So like 2,000 people living here. yeah, like I said, on a very small town. Nice landscape, and yeah.
Gotcha. So you said Frankfurt de Mille, right? So is that like an outskirt of Frankfurt, or is that like totally across the country?
No, it's a little bit more away from Frankfurt. It's like 50 minutes with car, so it's not. It doesn't belong to Frankfurt anymore.
Okay.
I live,
So
I live in one of the biggest wine areas in Germany.
nice.
So,
What's your favorite kind of wine?
oh, that's a tough question. I mean, I grew up with wine, and we have like hundred different kinds. So I don't know. It's tough. There are so many good ones. I can't say, but actually, I like to drink more champagne. So
Okay.
there isn't an English word for it. It's a mix of champagne and wine, and this is there is no word for it in English, so I can't tell you what it really is. So it's not real champagne, but it's not wine. It's kind of a mixture.
Now, if I'm correct here, I might get some of the terms backwards, but champagne only comes from France, and
Yeah.
brut only comes from Spain, and cavatappi only comes from Italy. Is there a German version in there that's got its own name?
Yeah, in wine, yes. So we have the German Riesling. That's the most famous wine kind we have in Germany, and mostly in my area.
Okay,
So
so not a sparkling white, just a regular white, right?
regular wine, yes,
Okay,
sparkling
I knew
wine.
I had heard of Riesling before, and it did definitely have a bit of that German sound to it. But you know,
Yeah.
I've definitely learned to try and avoid making assumptions like that. So,
Yeah.
and from what I understand, because I've been starting to become pretty good friends with Newen lately, and from what I understand, like you, he, and Jux go way back. Like you're one of the OGs on Rising Star, right?
Yes, that's right. So it's actually, we met each other before Rising Star existed or before we were even on Hive. So we know each other not from the blockchain. Um, so before Jax made Rising Star, he made a site with what's called Atom Collector Records. And it was not crypto, it was just a normal music site where you could listen to other musicians' songs and you earned credits for listening, and then you could use these credits for promoting your own songs on the website. And this was pretty cool because actually I found a lot of awesome musicians this way, um, and I found a lot of fans this way. So this was a pretty cool thing to do, and that's where we met each other. And there was a Discord server also to it, so you were able to meet musicians in the Discord server, and that's how I got to meet Ewan because he wrote to me on SoundCloud. I still remember this. That he found my song on Rhythm Collector Records, and he loved my music, and he asked if we want to make a collab. That was the way I met Ewan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta love when things start out one way and just grow together over time. I do want to take just a moment here. Chat has been saying that they're having difficulties hearing you, and I have been turning you up incrementally as we go. So I want to ask them now. Can you finally hear Raven, guys?
Yeah, let me just talk again to uh, that you guys can check. I don't know, we're having a little bit of trouble with the audio because I'm hearing myself pretty loud all the time. That's why I'm not talking too loud because it's a little bit disturbing. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not sure.
All right, we're changing to headphones so that we can turn you up. I've actually got you maxed there.
I mean, I can still turn up my my microphone if it helps. Let us check again. Maybe it's better now. Yeah, people just wrote to me also. There's something wrong with the audio.
Okay. Now
So I don't know, guys.
you,
Is
so
it better?
fantastic.
Okay, great. Okay,
Sorry about that. So back to
it's fine.
the matter at hand. So, yeah, it's definitely awesome when something begins small and then just kind of grows out of there. And what are you thinking about the current state of Rising Star? Do you think that we're going to see Starbits going back up? I remember when I got my million, I paid 140 for it. Now it's worth like $8.
Yeah, when I got my million, I paid more than $200.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's I don't know. That's a hard question. You know, I'm in the game since the alpha test, so I was one of the first 20 people to test it, and back then Jax didn't really, I don't know, pay too much attention or think about that the game could be this big, and so therefore he didn't really made a long-term plan on all the tokenomics, because it was in the beginning, it was just for a very small group of people, and I think he didn't expect that, I don't know, 6 or 7,000 people will play the game. So I think that's a bit of a problem if you don't really plan all this. And I mean, planning a game and tokenomics is a very complicated thing. I think this is the main problem now, that there hasn't been a long-term plan in the beginning. It was just like we were testing the game. Everybody was, oh, great, an own game on the blockchain with us as cards and our music in it. And it's just, this was the main purpose of the game back then, to promote the musicians. And I think it's doing a pretty good job on this, because there's this in-game radio where we can play our songs, and we can make the records in Rising Star. So this was the main focus of the game in the beginning. And I think the game getting this big, you have to think totally different about the tokenomics then, and you have to fix certain things that you didn't think of in the beginning, because with a bigger player base, the problems also get bigger, and it's getting more complicated. And this is what we see now, I think. And I mean, he's trying to fix the tokenomics with Star Pro and getting more new functions with Star Pro. For example, the raves. I don't know if you tested the raves. It's not completely live yet. It's just in testing phase, but this could also be a good function to shift over things more to Star Pro and not to Starbits anymore, so that people not only make normal missions all the time, but make these fan club missions and these Star Pro functions. So I think the game will shift over to these other functions, and it will not be the core anymore to make the normal missions. That's what I think. And then I think it's a pretty good chance that the tokenomics will be, let's say, fixed, and the price will go up again. Yeah, but time will tell. It's not an easy process. So yeah,
definitely not. I don't envy him the job of trying to figure that out. And obviously, it's not just a Jux thing either. Like, it seems to be a running theme within this entire play to earn environment, as it were. That a project starts going, and first and foremost, it has to be a good game, but then after that, it also has to be a good a system to not just allow the token to get inflated into oblivion. And obviously, it's what we're dealing with the governments as well, just on a little bit of a different scale. And it seems to be kind of the downfall of economies in just the capitalistic sense to begin with. So what about like the larger world economy side of things? Do you really pay much attention to that? Are you kind of as outspoken there as you are with your music? And like what how do we get to know Raven behind the mic?
Actually, I think it's pretty easy to get to know the real Raven, because I'm always trying to be an honest and open person. So people who know me from my Discord server, for example, have a pretty good picture of what is really me, because I don't like to hide behind something. I don't want to wear a mask or anything. So I think I'm pretty open. If people ask me stuff, I normally answer. It's not like, okay, I don't want to say this, or I just normally answer. And if people have problems with my opinion or with me, then I don't really care. I mean, it was a long way to get to this, to be honest, because most of my life I have been wearing a mask, I would say. And but creating Raven gave me the opportunity to let go of this mask, to really give people the chance to know me. And this is why Raven is so important for me, and because it's really me. It's really me. So most of my life I have been, I don't know, I had the feeling that I wasn't able to be myself. And creating this artist name and this whole concept around it really gave me the chance to just be myself, do my stuff. Yeah, and this was a great experience so far. And it also showed me that I don't want to go back to hiding behind a mask. It made me sick at some point in my life, and it didn't feel good. So that's what I'm trying. I'm just trying to be myself. I'm just trying to be open. If people don't like this, it's fine. I mean, you can't please everyone. So I'm just trying to do my thing, my music, and it feels great. It feels great. So I will just continue with this. Yeah.
Absolutely. I 100% understand where you're coming from with that, because it's almost an exact mirror to, my story with Rick. Like, there's different details, but
Okay.
like, yeah, the kind of same path. So as you're like, literally as you were saying it, like, I'm walking that path with you. Like, I totally
Oh,
understand.
great.
I'm
Okay.
not the person that I used to be, and the name change, the on the mountain, that's a big part of it as well. And yeah, it's it's actually me, not trying to fit into anyone else's box, just being me.
Yes.
A hundred
Right.
percent get you on that. I I believe, if I read your post correctly, your birthday is coming up, or is that today, or
It's
what?
on Monday.
On
It's on
Monday,
Monday.
okay. And so Monday is when the track drops.
No, the problem is last year we had a very big. Oh, you mean the record in Rising Star? Do you mean
Yes.
this? Yes, that's right. I thought you meant another track. Sorry. Yes, the record of Rising Star will be available on Monday. And so what I normally wanted to do on my birthday, it's the same that we had last year. We had a very big Hive birthday party in the pizza Discord, and it was awesome. It was just great. So many people, and yeah, pretty good party. And my plan was to make it another big party this year on my birthday, and to drop a new song where I worked for more than a year on it, and to also drop new NFTs for my token holders. But as I said, I was sick for 3 months, and it really mixed up my complete schedule. So it just didn't work out. I'm still sad about this, but I can't force it. I can't change it. So the plan now is that we have a small party on Monday, and the bigger party with the song release and the NFT releases will be like, I think in April. Then I'm done with everything. And then, yeah, the bigger party just needs to wait a bit more, but
Gotcha.
it will be there. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like I definitely need to start spooling up and spending more time in the pizza Discord then, because I didn't even know nothing about this, and I've been in there for over a year. I'm just terrible at Discording. I'm not even
It's
in my own server very often.
yeah, it's a lot of work to keep up with all these communities. So I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting at somewhere between 1,500 and two infinities worth of unread tags.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, well, y'all heard it here. Raven is turning, what, 18 on Monday?
Thanks.
Finally legal to have this conversation. So,
Yeah, I'm not really talking about my age.
no,
So
that's why I said
and
18.
yeah.
And then, so you will have a track dropping on Rising Star, at least, even if everything else isn't happening. I want to make
Yes.
sure that people know to go ahead and run out and pick that up while you can, because it's probably not going to last very long. I know I'm definitely planning on getting it. What time does that drop?
So the party starts on Monday at 9 p.m. my time, so 9 p.m. CET, and I think this is somewhere about where the record will drop.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And is that invite only, or if I happen to pop up in the Discord at the right time, I just
Of
might
course,
be there
it's
to celebrate you.
sure it's not invite only. Everyone can come. The bigger the better. So I used to do regular shows in the Pizza Discord last year. So like every 2 or 3 weeks, we had a music show every Thursday. So every 3 weeks on Thursday, and we had a music show, and it was always a different topic, a different genre that I played. And then people were chatting in the chat, and we played some games and gave away some stuff. And this was my regular show. And sometimes I made bigger shows like on the birthday or on Halloween. We had a very big Halloween party that was awesome too. So yeah, the Pizza Discord kind of became my second home, I would say. I love the community. The people are great. Yeah, the last months I wasn't able to do shows, but I started 2 weeks ago. So I hope from now on it will be regular shows again, at least once a month or every 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And actually, I'm kind of glad you naturally brought the conversation towards music, as I'm sure most conversations end up that way with you. You are very prolific, and you don't really seem to have a boundary with your music. Like I've heard some great EDM stuff coming from you. I've heard some pretty wicked rhymes coming from those flows. Like, so what's your favorite kind of music? Kind of what was your journey there? Tell us about the inspiration.
Yeah, so for all my life I used to listen to a lot of different genres, a lot of different stuff. It's not like I know people that only listen to rock music, but it was never for me. So it's just I tried everything, and if it's cool and I liked it, fine, then I just listen to it. So it's not like I searched for a specific genre. So I grew up with a lot of reggaeton and R&B music. This is something that you can't really hear in my songs, I would say, because there are not so many reggaeton and R&B parts in it, really. But I was just growing up to this, going dancing every week to this music. So I still love it, and I thought about often that I want to make a reggaeton song, but it's not easy. Maybe I'm still a little bit afraid of it, because for me it's such a great genre, such an important part of my life, and I didn't really. I don't know. Maybe I'm still too shy to try this genre. But apart from this, I love to listen to like 80s and 90s music. I grew up in Germany with 90s music, and 90s music in Germany was a lot of trance music and a lot of techno music. And so I grew up with this, and it had specific synth sounds to it. And I just love these synth sounds. And this is what you can really hear in my stuff, because I have a 90s sound attached to my songs when it comes to the synths. And I think I started playing the drums when I was a kid, and I played a lot of drums in bands and stuff. So before I made electronic music, I played live gigs. And this also influences me a lot, because my beats in my songs are normally pretty complicated. It's not an easy beat like.
That's definitely true.
So because I'm a drummer, and I love beats and drumming. So it's always complicated. The beats are always the part in my songs where I put the most work in.
So what was your first instrument that you started playing with? Was that drums?
No, when I was a kid, it was normal in Germany that everybody just had to learn flute.
Flute, okay.
It was like this normal wood flute. I don't know how it's called in English. So this was just when we were kids, everybody just learned this, but I hated it. It wasn't my kind of thing. I thought it sounded stupid, and yeah, I don't know. So
So
I
drums
stopped
weren't
it.
your first instrument. Were they the first one you fell in love with, though? Like, were they
Yeah.
where you the music bug got you?
Yes, I was so small, but I still remember it like it was yesterday. And this shows me that it was such an important moment in my life, because I remember I was 5 years old, and then my cousin, my grand cousin, I don't know, yeah, my cousin got married because she's a lot older than me. And then I was 5 years old on this wedding, and there was a band playing at the wedding. And then I don't know, I was fascinated because, like, really seeing a live band for the first time in my life, or yeah, really recognizing it for the first time in my life. And then when they made a break, I just went over there and I said, "Hey, it's so cool. It's so cool. I love this instrument. What is it? What is it?" And then the drummer just took me up on his lap and said, "Here, you can have the sticks. Just play." And I was 5 years old, and it was just, this was the moment where I knew, okay, I want to be a drummer. And I remember on my 6th birthday, my parents gave me like a kids drum set. It was from Mickey Mouse. I still remember it was saying Mickey Mouse and Disney on it. And it was sounding like shit because it was just like a plastic drum kit.
Because it was Disney, of course.
But I had a drum kit. I was 6 years old. And then I remember I really was bugging my parents all the time. I want to have a real drum kit. I want to have a real drum kit. And they said, "Oh no, you start so many things, and every year you start a different thing, and you're not doing it, and then you stop again. It costs too much money. We can't do this." And I was so sad, so sad. But I remember for years and years, I really got on their nerves until they, gave me a real drum kit.
And then once you did, you kept at it, and then they were like, "Well, why didn't you do everything else?" You were like, "Because everything else wasn't drumming. That's why I didn't stick with it." Like,
that's it.
when
That's
that
it.
passion is there, other things will not suffice. Like, you can keep trying to dangle another carrot in
Yeah.
front of my face, but like, once I know what it is that I want, that's what
Yes.
I'm going after. And I'm so like, I was smiling like a geek for all of that story, because that's just heartwarming, especially like seeing your first live concert, just falling in love with the drums then and there, and then going up on stage afterwards and the drummer helping you out and whatnot. That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and look at you now, like you've actually like took that torch, ran with it, and like, do you even remember what band it was? Did you ever talk to that person again? Like, he's probably
No,
just gone on about his life, totally forgotten about that moment, and just like made the biggest difference in some little girl's life,
oh yes,
and doesn't
absolutely
even know nothing about it.
true. Because I don't know, I never. Yeah, maybe I should ask my cousin. Maybe she still knows who it was. I don't know. I never saw them again, and I was so small that I couldn't remember any name or anything. So
I get you.
no
I
idea.
get you. Like, the only reason I know about my first concert is because I was told more about it later. I vaguely remember sitting up on my mom's shoulders at like 3 years old, but I could not have told you that it was a Black Crowes concert until like I found out as a teenager. Like, oh yeah, that
Okay.
was your first concert, was I took you to see the Black Crowes when you were 3 years old. And like, well, cool. That's a pretty good pedigree right there as well. Uh,
Cool.
who
Yeah.
is out of everybody that you've seen? Who is your favorite live act? Time to go tough on some questions.
Um, Tough question. Favorite live act. I would say the band Paramore. Do you know the
Okay,
band? I
I have
love them when I saw them live.
I,
Yeah.
I've not seen them live, but I do love their work.
It's great. I really love their sound. I love their drums, their beats, and
Yeah,
everything else. And they were great in concert. And also, I mean, you will not know this because it's a German rapper. He's called. There are two German rappers that really influenced me, and I really love their concerts. but I think you will never heard of them probably because they rap in German actually. So the one is called Alligator, and the other one is Crow, and that was awesome live shows. What they did, really great. It was like going to a theater, seeing a play on the stage, and I love this. That was also very good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Definitely important that the live act encompasses more than just music. Like you have a stage for a reason, use it. But
Yes. Yeah.
that's definitely the favorite live act that I've seen was Alice Cooper, because exactly that, like the production level on it, the story that just basically played out the entire time. Like he ended up chasing down Britney Spears with a halberd and cutting her head off. Like it was hilarious. And of course, this is when I was in high school, so that was the greatest thing that had ever happened at that point. Free Britney, by the way. But yeah, no, like that element of you're not just there to put on a show and play some songs. You're there to entertain the crowd. That was always my favorite aspect. Like I've seen Tech Nine 27 times because the man puts on a show. He doesn't just get up there and spit some rhymes. And especially like for a rapper where most of your music is digital and you're not doing much on stage in terms of actually putting anything together or composing it. You got to throw something else in there, and yeah, he does it very well.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I think it's also important, or I like if they really send a message, if they have something to say, and they use their stage for telling a story or a message, and this is also important for me, I think.
Yeah, because there's too much just kind of empty talent out there. There are people that can make something that sounds really good, and then that's where they stop. And it's like, okay, well, that part, in all honesty, is fairly easy. Like, kind of move on and give us something a little bit more substantial and make it sound good. That's where it's actually kind of important. And I feel like music is kind of uniquely positioned in that respect. Like it's possible for TV, music, movies, like internet, books, and whatnot. They all definitely have the potential to make a difference, but it feels like music is kind of uniquely galvanizing in that respect.
Yeah, I think because of all I don't know, the chords and all the notes and the frequencies really can, I don't know, have so much emotions in it. So it's not only about the words, it's also about the frequencies in the music, and you can put so much emotion in it. And I think this is why it's such a good medium to really send out a message.
All right, so back on the difficult questions. Say you're trapped on a deserted island, and you have one album that you have to listen to on repeat for the rest of your life, with no breakdowns, no interruptions.
One album. Oh, that's a tough one. No, but I think the first that really came to my mind is The Right One, I think. It's from Paramore, but I forgot the name. That's embarrassing. What's the name of the album? Let me check. But that's definitely my I would choose this. Oh, it's called Grow Up, I think. It doesn't say on Spotify, it just says album Paramore, so that's weird. That's why I maybe never really remembered the name, but this would be the album from Paramore. It's either just called Paramore or Grow Up. I'm not sure because you can't really tell in Spotify. So this would be my album. I listened to it for like 1,000 times, and there's my favorite song on it, and I have the name of the song tattooed to one of my feet because it really means so much to me, and that's why I would choose this album. Yeah.
Awesome. For me, and that's actually a question I've been asking for a long time because I came up with my answer years ago, and there have been a lot of others that I'd like to add to the list. But
Yeah.
if I had to just pick one album for all of eternity, I think the only one that wouldn't drive me insane after like the 400th repeat would be Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's
It's
a great
so
album.
varied. Like there's so many
Yes.
different styles on that one album, and yet it's still
Yeah.
coherent. Um,
Yes.
I just love it. And not saying that the Beatles are the greatest band of all time, but if they're not on your list in consideration, then you're not really serious about that list, in my opinion. Like
I
they don't
totally
have to be
understand.
number one, but they got to be number something.
I totally agree. And I would also say the same about Queen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Freddie
This is
Mercury
for me the
was
same
just
kind of, yeah. The songs are just not from this world. For me as a musician, it's just insanely good and yeah, so much talent and just great. So this would, yeah, a Queen album would be another album which I would put very on the top of my list. Yeah.
so. Which Queen album would you pick?
This was an album which came out when I was very young, and I kind of grew up with it. Same here. I can't remember the name. Let me check. It's old. Um, what's it called? Not sure if it's really. I can't tell you right now. I would have to Google it and send you the link because on Spotify it doesn't really show all these old stuff. Is it This Is Queen, maybe? Yeah, it could be this album, This Is Queen,
Okay.
but I'm not sure. I have to, I would have to search for it. But I remember it came out when I was like, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, and my brother got it to his birthday, and he was listening to it all the time, and then I just fell in love with Queen. Yeah, like
Excellent.
the songs like Radio Gaga, this kind of time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's totally different from anything else, and it's a
Y-
beautiful thing. Like Queen is absolutely their complete own machine, and that's definitely in a big part to Freddie Mercury, but don't overlook the rest of the band either. For a lot of
Absolutely.
people who don't know that much about Queen, it's just like, oh, Freddie Mercury, Freddie Mercury. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Freddie Mercury, but don't you forget Brian May either. Like, they were an
Yeah,
amazing group. He was
absolutely.
just a bigger than life frontman, but when you try and boil Queen down to just Freddie Mercury, you're very much oversimplifying. And
Yes, I
man, I miss
absolutely.
him.
Yeah, I remember we were once practicing with my band, Bohemian Rhapsody, and we were playing this with our band. And this is such a hard song to play because it's like 8 songs in one song,
It is. It
and it
really
changes and
is.
changes and changes. And this is where really, if you have to learn a song of them, you really see how good they all are and how brilliant it is to write something like this. And yeah, it's great.
So yeah, I'm absolutely the same way. And another one that really I didn't fully understand the genius behind it until I decided to start learning it. Actually, Eminem. Like I
Yeah.
tried to hate him for a long time, but I
Okay.
realized eventually I just can't do it. The man is just too talented. When I decided that I was going to learn Rap God for a karaoke challenge,
Mhm.
and I spent a couple of months memorizing it, that song is just insane. Like in that fast part, do you know what he says?
No.
I'll summon up another demon. How do you assume I'm human? What I got to do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is ricocheting off of me and it'll glue to you in. I'm devastating more than ever, demonstrating how to give a motherfucking audience a feeling like it's levitating, never fading, And I know the haters are forever waiting for the day when they can say I fell off. They'll be celebrating. Cause I know the way to get them motivated. I make elevating music. You make elevator music. And that takes 2 seconds to say. I'll summon, I'm gonna do how to use him when what I
Yeah.
can get it through. I'm superhuman, innovative, and robust. So then you can say it's ricocheting off of me, doing devastating more than ever, demonstrating negative motherfucking audience of feeling like it's levitating, devastating. I know the haters are forever waiting for the day we get to celebrate, get motivated. I make elevating music. You make elevator music. And I always
I'm,
lose it a little bit here at the end there,
but
but
I'm pretty impressed. I must say, it's why don't you make a rap song?
I do, and that's what I was saying. Like, I don't have really the music behind it, but I got some lyrics, and I got some delivery. I'm
So maybe
still,
we need to make a song together then.
yeah. That's what I was getting at when we were talking about that earlier. I would definitely love to throw some shit down with you. And I've
Cool.
already got some projects that I'm working with Newen on. I've got some things that I've
Oh,
given off, passed off to Encrypted to work on. I need to
cool.
get some going with Aftersound as well, and yes, I would absolutely love to work with you. It would be an honor.
Awesome. Yeah, I think collabs are always a great way to experience new stuff, to make new things that you wouldn't have done when you work alone on a song. It's just always brings it to the next level somehow, and you always learn new stuff if you work with somebody else. And I just love that. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best part of the process is just continuing to learn and absorb something new from everybody that you meet, and that's great for music. It's also a great approach to life. Like that really is. I find the key to success is always be learning.
Yeah, it's
The
true.
the first day that you don't learn something is the first day that you start dying. You know.
Yeah, I totally understand.
So, I'm primarily known as a Splinterlands streamer, and I know you within the larger Hive community and within the Rising Star community. Are you in Splinterlands kind of at all? Are you like just play every once in a while casual, or are you like, fuck that shit, I don't touch it?
That's a pretty weird topic, because so when it came out, I started playing it for a bit. I collected some cards, but it wasn't my type of game. So it's not the favorite type of game I like to play. But well, last year, I don't know how, I don't want to say anything wrong. So
Oh,
I
there is
need to
nothing
think.
wrong. This is my channel. You don't have to worry about offending anybody. Anybody that gets offended can fuck off. This is
Okay.
Ravenstein.
Yeah, so last year they offered me a job in the company, and they offered me a pretty awesome job. And for me, it was like a dream job. And I started it, and we were working on something for 8 weeks, so like a trial phase. And they always told me it was great what I was doing and stuff like that. And they loved my work. And then they just said, after the trial, they just said no. And this was
Ooh.
it it really dragged me down, I have to say, because it was a great project I was working on. I loved the topic. I mean, I'm not allowed to say too much about this, but I was in the position of the project owner of a new game they wanted to make, and the game was about music. So for me, there's nothing better than music, gaming, and crypto. That's like the three things I love, and the combination of it was just so great. And I would have loved to work on it. And I don't know, the way they handled this, I didn't like that. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't right. They should have handled it a little bit different, I think. So I was pretty pissed for a while, and that's why I'm not gonna play Splinterlands again. It's
Okay.
just my personal, yeah.
Fair enough. But you did mention that like games are a big thing with you. So like what other games are you into aside from Rise and Star? Are you pretty much Hive maximalist? Have you branched out to any of the other web chains? Or like what's got your heart when you're clamoring to play?
So yeah, I play a lot of Hive games. I also play a lot of Wex games. And I started playing games when I was a little kid. So we got our first computer when I was 6 years old, and it was a Commodore 64. I don't know if you know this. So it's
I am aware of the Commodore 64. I never had
yeah,
one, but I know of its existence, yes.
and this was just like, wow, what the fuck is that? I mean, young people from today, they can't really understand, but it was like the first computer. It was such a new thing. I don't know, I've never seen anything similar before in my life. So this really got me. It really got me. And I got my first Nintendo 64 when I was like, I think 9 years old or 10. Um, and I was a big gamer in my life. Always. I played everything. We had an Amiga, a Commodore, we had a normal PC, we had a PlayStation, we had everything. I have like 20 different how you call it, consoles or the gaming stations at home. So I tried all the different platforms. I tried a lot of different games, and then when World of Warcraft came out, this really, I don't know. I was playing World of Warcraft for 3 years nonstop. I came home from work playing World of Warcraft. It was crazy. It was crazy. Um, and then at some point, I remember my friends were always calling, like, "Hey, do you want to do anything?" No, I can't. I have to play because I was like so into it. It was insane. And at some point, friends stopped calling me because they knew she's not gonna come. She's just playing this game. And then I thought, okay, something's wrong here. But that's what the hell is happening here? It took me 3 years to really understand. And then I thought, no, no way I'm gonna continue this. I just deleted the game and that was it. And from this moment on, I'm still playing games, but in a different way. So it's like I love to play a game for 2 or 3 hours, but then it's enough, and I just stop because I was so into this world and I was not paying attention to anything that happened in the real life, and I didn't even recognize it for 3 years. It was so weird. Yeah. So this showed me to. I mean, I love gaming, but it needs to be in a good balance with other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely understand that. I lost myself a little too much to WoW as well. So I do need to ask you, what race and class combo was your main?
Uh, it's I don't know how it's called in English, to be honest, because I played in German. So it's the Horde. Is it called Horde in
For the
English?
Horde! That is the correct
Yes.
answer.
So of course, always this. And I played a what's the English word for it? It was like it was not a normal sorcerer. It was a like a
Warlock?
necromant, or what's the English word for it?
Warlock?
Yes, warlock. Right.
Okay. More dots,
I,
more dots, more dots, more dots!
yes. You
Yeah,
understand pretty well. Yeah.
100% do. Yeah, lost way too much time in that game. I had a great time with it. I was an undead Frostfire mage.
Okay.
So, definitely, I feel you on the kite and fight glass cannon that can just, drop the oodles of damage. But yeah, I did more burst and you did more over time. But basically,
Yes.
the very similar build. Love it. And yeah, that game was so much fun. And man, Blizzard just keeps coming out with them hits. Like, Diablo was my first video game.
Okay.
And yeah, I was hooked. Like, I'd already been playing D&D and MUDs up to that point. So I was already, really into fantasy, but Diablo was the first real video game for me, and it was just like day one, it was over.
Yeah, I totally understand. I love to play Diablo. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite franchise or favorite game that like is just home and nothing else quite comes close?
Mm, I think what I really like is Uncharted on PlayStation. Don't know if you know this one.
I
It
know of
has,
it. I've never played it again.
yeah, I really like this one. But no, there's no. I mean, the games are so different. I love to play shooters. I love to play strategic games. I love to play so many different things that it's hard to compare, because it's so such a different mechanics behind it. Yeah. I also love to play Nintendo Switch, all the Mario stuff and like Mario Kart, and this is also great. I love these cute little games.
Right.
So lots of different games. Yeah.
For me, I've never really got too much into the consoles. I mean, I've got an old school Nintendo over there. I really loved Super Nintendo. That's the greatest console ever made. You can try and prove me wrong, but I'll die on that hill. Um, the consoles really started going downhill with N64 because they added the thumbstick, the joypad, whatever the technical terminology is for it
Okay.
nowadays. That was the beginning of the end for me. Like a
Okay.
D-pad did just fine. I hate those those directional sticks.
I
Uh,
see.
so I've been more of a computer gamer for a long time now. I would much rather have WASD controls and a mouse than
Yeah.
two different directional sticks. But I mean, just yeah, gaming in and of itself is really the homeland. Like it's just so much fun. And it feels like no matter what's going on in your life, because every one of us is under control of outside forces to some point or another, when you start playing a game, you feel like you are in control of what's going on. You know,
Absolutely.
to a point at least, what's going to happen next. There's very little that can just out of this world completely unexpectedly happen, and it's kind of fun to have that semblance of control. But
Yeah.
it's definitely also important to not lose yourself in it because I've been there. I've definitely been that guy that the friends stop calling because they know they're not getting through, and
Yeah.
it's no bueno. Definitely important to take time out and enjoy your life as well. So, what do you go to? Like if you're leaving the drumsticks at home and the devices and you're kind of getting away from all of your day to day, what is Raven's kind of go to me time?
I love biking. Last year I bought a new e-bike, yeah, I don't know if it's common over in the USA, so a bike with a motor. Um, and this was such a great moment for me because it opened up such a big world. Because I mean, with a normal bike, you can get to a certain point, but with a bike with a motor, you can just go so much far and to places I've never seen before in near where I live, but I've never seen these places before. And like getting this bike really opened up a big world for me.
That's awesome.
And I just love being in the nature and just being alone and get away from everybody, get away from maybe all the things that stresses you, and just go into nature. And yeah, I love it. What I used to do the last years, and I really want to start again, is riding. I don't have a motorbike, but I have a quad. You know what a quad is?
Yeah.
So, and I have a small quad, but for not for for really riding on the street, but for riding in the, I don't know, like in the dirt, right? So go in the,
As an ATV should be used for getting
yes.
off road and having some fun in the mud. Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
So I love this. I love to do this. It's just, yeah, it's great. It's just I'm so focused when I'm on this thing, because you just need to really focus that you're not getting, I don't know, kicked off of it, because it's so intense. And yeah, I love this because I'm just in this moment then, and I can't think about anything else. And this is my time I need sometimes to just go out alone and just be with myself. And yeah,
I
outside is important, I guess.
I love it. So you said e-bike. Is it electric powered or is it gas powered?
It's electric.
So what kind of range do you have on that thing? Can you you said you're pretty much central Germany. Can you actually get out of Germany on a charge?
No, I don't think so. I think the biggest range would be like maybe 100 miles or something.
Okay. And then
So,
how difficult is it to charge at that point? Is it like you just pull over at a gas station and plug her up
yeah,
in an
you just
outside socket?
you need a normal plug for it. Just a normal, yeah. I could do it at home wherever. So it's easy to fill it up again. It just takes some hours until it's full again. But it's yeah, you can do it everywhere. It's no problem.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so what's the farthest you've taken that out so far?
Oh, I think like 60 kilometers.
So
Yeah. And
just about tested the full range, huh?
yeah, not completely, but yeah, it's like I mean, with a normal bike, I would never have gotten to this point because I would be too exhausted before I would go there, you know? So it's just yeah, it's just it opens up a new world somehow for me.
Yeah, it's not like I feel like the typical bike rider has, one of two things in mind. Either they're, commute biking because they're close enough to get everywhere that they need to go, and so they don't want to, pay for the car, don't want the emissions and whatnot associated with the car, don't want, regardless of whether you're coming at it from a financial or environmental standpoint, but you got that kind of very localized biker, and then you got the kind of long distance bikers who, that's their exercise or that's their sport and that's what they're into.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really kind of the lesser, like, kind of exemplified third version, where just like I like to get on a bike and be out in nature, and so you know I feel like the e-bike might appeal to one of the, like, the in and around the city one, not so much the doing it for my exercise one, but for the just want to get out and experience something. Yeah, it's a whole lot better than a motorcycle or a car, even a dirt bike,
Yeah.
because you've got more options and it's just more convenient. And
Yeah.
how unwieldy is it? Is it like super heavy? Does it feel like a pain with the motor or anything like that, or is it just like riding a bike for you?
It's heavy. It's more heavy than a normal bike because the motor really is heavy. So if you can also like turn off the motor and just ride it like a normal bike, but you feel it's really harder than riding a normal bike without the motor because it's so heavy. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I'd imagine it's probably not the kind of thing you can just throw over your shoulder and run up a flight of stairs with like a
Mm,
typical bike.
no, not really.
And is
Yeah,
it
but
heavy enough that you're not getting it up those stairs at all?
no, you can. I mean, it has like a button where you can, um, it helps you, I don't know how you call it in English. So if you're not riding it, but you're just
Power
shifting it
walking.
or power walking, then it has a button that helps with the motor a little bit, so it's easier to get it up the stairs. So
Okay.
it's not really a problem. Yeah.
Gotcha. That sounds like a pretty awesome device that you've picked up yourself. And that's
I love it. It's just a feeling of freedom, actually, to have this.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like here in Florida, everything is very very spread out, and it's a real pain. Like I've existed around here without having a car, relying on public transportation, which is just, the public transportation here is terrible. There are places in this
Okay.
country where it's great. Florida is not one of them.
Okay.
Thank God for Uber. But like, yeah, it's it, that is the kind of thing that would almost be necessary around
Mm,
here for someone who doesn't want a car. Because I mean, trying to walk from point A to point B, it's going to take you forever, and it's
mm,
just so hot and so humid all the time that by the time
no.
you get there, you're just going to be a puddle of sweat and you're going to fall down dead and kersploosh. um, so it's Yeah, that definitely seems like something that might be in my near future.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
mean,
as you're
I,
talking about.
it's so common in Germany. It's almost everybody has one. So it's weird that you don't have any of these in the USA, but I think it will come sooner or later because it's so famous over here.
Yeah, things are definitely pushing that way overall, kind of on a national level. Florida is going to be one of those last vestiges of the old ways, shall we say.
Okay.
Definitely very backward state.
Okay.
And that's a big part of the reason why my lady and I are so keen to get the hell out of here. But
Okay.
it's also like, yeah, that's kind of the best I can say about it, actually. So I'm gonna shut up because Mama taught me if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'll just sit here and
I
sip my coffee.
see. I see.
So how did you come into gaming? Like, what was your first game that you really kind of hooked on and fell in with? I know you said you had the Commodore 64 and you had different consoles kind of all throughout life.
Yeah. But the first game that really hooked me was on the Nintendo 64, Mario, the first Mario game on Nintendo 64. This really got me. Yeah.
Okay, and that was just Mario 64, right?
Yeah. It was the first game which was like three-dimensional.
Yeah.
So it was at this time it was like, wow, what's that?
Yeah,
So
they did a great job on that system and on the games for that system. The only thing I
yes.
didn't like about it was the controller.
Yeah, I understand, but yeah, I don't know. It just got me. Nintendo just, yeah, I was sold at this game.
Honestly, none of the 64 Marios made it as my favorites though. Mario's 1,
Okay.
2 and 3 and Super Mario World were
Yeah.
really the just I I feel like everyone since then, or at least most of them since then, have been really good, but I don't feel like any of them have been better than 3 or
Okay. Yeah.
World. I think
Yeah.
3 and World are my two favorites of the entire Mario heap. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
they are all great. I love them all. It's every Mario has a different specific thing to it, so I like them all.
that's
Yeah.
definitely true too. Like they are all very separate games. Same vein, same characters, same kind of lore and storyline and whatnot, but they're all very different games, especially 2. Of course, that was never a Mario game to begin with, but
Yeah.
that's why all of the enemies in there are so weird compared to all of the others. But that one was honestly one of my favorites as well. Just like I remember, that's the first one I really have the fondest memories of. Is me and my brother. My brother could beat every game blindfolded, and he struggled with Mario 2 for a long time. And like that was one of my kind of formative video gaming memories is trying to get
Yeah.
through Mario 2 with my brother.
That's cool. Yeah.
Are you into the racing games?
I used to play racing games when I was younger, but not anymore. No.
Judging from the chair, I was gonna guess hell yeah, that looks like a racing chair, like
Oh, does
almost
it?
like you're
Yeah,
strapped into your cockpit already.
well, it's a gaming chair with horns. It's called Diablo. The gaming chair is called Diablo, so that's horns actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
I dig it. That is an awesome gaming chair, and I love the name too. As we were talking about, I actually did a couple of months ago. I think it was mid December, might have been late November. I did a replay of the original Diablo with the Hellfire expansion, and I
Um,
live streamed it in one straight
cool.
session, went all the way through from character creation to Diablo's death, and that was so much fun and so
Uh,
exhausting. It took like 12 and a half hours.
yeah. Yeah.
Ewan caught the end of it. He hopped in and he was like, hey, I have a song that would be really good for this stream. And I was like, yeah, I know. I played it to kick off this stream and it's already come on like 4 times throughout. Like, you think I'm going to just leave you in the dark boat? No.
Yeah, Diablo's a great game. And also, I wish I want to start streaming games myself someday. I really would love to do this, but it's just not enough time. So many projects, so many ideas, and it's hard to, yeah, to do everything I want. So I
I
hope
get you.
someday I can start. I really want to, but it's at the moment it's not easy to
You
get.
want me to let you in on a little secret?
Yeah.
This is how I started it. I started streaming as my way to get to actually play my games. Like I don't pretty much play much of anything off stream. It's like I get my gaming time in while I'm streaming, and so you just kind of merge the two, and it honestly
True.
streaming makes gaming so much better too. So you know, I would definitely say next time you're sitting down for a game, don't even think about it. Just you
It's a good
start
idea.
streaming it.
It's a very good idea. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should just do this.
And
Actually,
I
yeah.
mean, even like as me, someone who was relatively unknown in the community, and like literally, I got my computer January 4th. I did my first stream January 5th. I created my Twitch profile January 5th. Like I started from scratch. And yeah, my first couple of streams I didn't have anybody in, but then once I got one, then I got two, then I got five, then like it started to happen really quickly. So
Cool.
like, and you already have a community that follows
Yeah.
you and loves you, and I feel like you would not have a couple of streams of nobody in there. I feel like it'd be like, oh shit, Raven's play streaming, oh let's go.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. It would be great if it would work this way. I really have to try. I really have to try. Yeah.
I am going to. Nobody's going to actually see this right now, but I'm going to pull up a grubfish. Normally, I don't do this on these, but I'm gonna pull up a grubfish. I'm gonna let everyone know when they can bang play, and then we're gonna run that, and I will go ahead and pop it up on screen just so people can see the winner and everything. But we are going to give away. What all tracks do you have in Rising Star currently available for sale?
I think most of them are sold out.
I think so too. That's why I asked, because I can look, but
So-
you'll know faster, I'm sure.
Yeah, so the new one is not up for sale yet. Like I said, you still have to wait till Monday, and I think apart from that, it's only one or maybe two records which are still available, and the rest is definitely sold out. Let me check real quick. I think so. The last record I released was a Halloween song. Let me check. Oh, if it's sold out or not. I didn't really have a look at it the last few weeks, actually, so I'm not completely sure. Let me go to NFT Mart to see this.
It's funny because that's also where I'm going.
Yeah, it's the quicker way and the easier way, actually. So let me check my cards. So you also play Rising Star, right?
Yes. I'm number R208.
Okay. I see. So where are the records? Oh god, I have so many cards. Give me a second. Okay, so there's still I released a Halloween collection with Halloween songs. This is still available for I think 2 or 3 times. And there's one no, it's sold out. And there's yeah, that's it. All the others are sold out. Yeah. So it's only the Halloween collection. I didn't release it with Raven. I released it with my alias. It's called B-Tracks.
Oh yeah, that
so
was
this
the
is
other
a-
thing I wanted to ask is how many names do you have? Because I realized, when you said that I already staked on that was B-Tracks, so that's also you. Do you have any others that are you that I need to know about?
I have 3 names because I make 3 completely different music styles. So B-Tracks is for the label I produce. For Panda Beats, it's for copyright-free music, and it's for me. It was a good thing to just try out new genres. So with this name, I just try out whatever I want to do. I made a synthwave album. I made lo-fi and Halloween stuff, and yeah. So all the copyright-free music I produce as B-Tracks, and I have a third name which is called Binaural Concept. Which is actually meditation and relaxation music. So I don't have time for this anymore, but the last few years I did a lot of meditation music I started making for myself, but then people liked it and I started to sell it. And it's great to also work on meditation music because it's so relaxing and it's it's just fun to make this music because it's no stress at all. It's just really relaxing to produce this. But like I said, I don't have time for this anymore. So right now there are no new tracks
Gotcha.
at this.
So the Halloween one I'm looking at is the Synthwave Collection Volume 1?
No, it's called Halloween Collection. So it's a red CD cover. So if you go, I don't know, you are on NFT Mart or you are in Rising Star right now?
NFT Mart.
Okay. So it's a red cover and a red CD. It's red black. And it's called Halloween Collection Volume 1. But so you can't see it maybe. I think because I just saw I have 4 left, but I think I reserved them for giving away in my shows. So it could actually be that it's not available for buying anymore. I didn't think of that. Yeah. I think I have reserved them all for giving away. So actually no record is available anymore. It's all sold out.
All right. Well, I guess I have to spend 50 Swap Hive to get these 2 copies of Synthwave Collection Volume 1 then.
Yeah.
Grubfish is open, y'all. Bang Play gets you in on the game. I have to do some moving around to find 50 Swap Hive, but I will make it happen.
Okay. Oh, but I just saw there are some left for selling. At least it shows me if I click buy cards on NFT Mart. Maybe I can send you a screenshot in Discord and then you can find them. So it says they are still available, or maybe somebody put them on the market. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a shame that I don't really know about my own records. So these 2 are still on the market. I just send you the screenshot on Discord. But I think it's not my copy. Somebody just put it there. Yeah, because it says 21 Swap Hive and 30 Swap Hive. That's not the price I put to it, so somebody's selling it. Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't give you more records.
But if you want to, not having them already, that's how it works.
Yeah, they are normally sold out pretty quick, actually, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. That's a testament to you. Like I usually get staked on everything as it comes out, but I usually don't have like 25,000 star bits handy to just go scoop up a copy right away. Because usually all of my extra star bits go into staking. So I've probably got like 250,000 staked right now.
Oh wow!
But
nice. So how about this? When the record comes out on Monday, I will just send you a copy for free. Okay?
Well, I greatly appreciate that. I'm already planning on buying one as well. So if I have 2 copies, then I'll have one to give away.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, sure.
I ended up actually buying... Oh, you're only 105 Swap Hive. I need to pick up your card as well.
Yeah, it came really cheap the last month, actually. Yeah.
That would
It used
actually
to
be
be
my
like,
first legendary. I still have not opened one.
um, yeah, it's hard to get a legendary out of the pack. It's not easy.
So, what's your favorite other game out of everything that you're playing right now on Hive and Wax?
It's a good question. I mean, at some point I was a little bit bored because most of the crypto games are just click and wait. Um, which, yeah, at some point I thought, oh, it's a little bit boring. I mean, it's nice to earn and stuff, and it's nice to trade, but I would love to have a game which I could just play like for 3 hours nonstop. You know what I mean? And this is still not so easy with crypto games, I think.
That's definitely true.
So I mean, you could do this with Splinterlands because you can just battle all the time. But if you think about games like Rising Star, you can't do much. You just have to wait until you can start the next things. And actually, I'm looking forward very much to a new game where I'm part of the team. I'm making the music and the sound effects for. Not sure if you've heard of. It's a Hive game and it's called Craft Inc.
I have
And
not.
it's
Tell me
not
more.
okay. It's not out yet. So it's made by a German community. Um, and the first packs will be sold like in, I don't know, it's not the date is not fixed yet, but I think in the next 4 till 8 weeks probably. Um, and the game, it's also a card game and it's also battling against each other, but it's a totally different way than Splinterlands. So it's not it's not like an auto battle. It's really like, do you know Magic the Gathering?
I'm an old school Magic player. I'm very glad to hear that it's a more
Okay.
active battling card game. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, so it's a little bit more like this.
I,
And yeah, I'm a Magic player and collector for I started when I was 9 years old or so with collecting cards and stuff. And I really love this game. So I'm pretty excited about this game, and it's even better to be a part of the team and make the music and stuff for the game. So yeah, I really can't wait to see this game going live and play it. Yeah.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I definitely, send me some info on that and how I can get involved, how
Sure.
I can, reserve packs and whatnot, get in on that alpha, because I'm definitely hyped about that. I'm sure that you know about the project that Newland's been working on lately as well, Astral Revelations.
Yes.
I'm definitely pretty stoked on that one. I've been hyping it up a lot. I've already ordered
Cool.
my starter pack, a Wisp pack. I've got a little over 10K Astra staked, so starting
Nice.
to make some moves in games that are just coming out, and actually just started TerraCore last night. Have you messed with that one at all?
No, I saw the name yesterday for the first time actually. And I thought I really have to have a look at it because some people were saying that it seems to be good. So this was my plan to have a look at it, but I don't even know what it's about yet. I just saw the name and some people talking about, but that's it.
It
Yeah.
definitely does seem to be less of that sit down and play 3 hours, more of clicker come in and whatnot. But it's also good to have that cycle of clickers that you can come in, reset everything once, and then sit down to play something else for a couple of hours, and then on your way out
Yeah.
reset all your timers again. And that's how I
Yeah.
found to be a lot more enjoyable with the things that I'm doing on Web3, because so much of it is just click and then wait and then click and then wait. I don't run my schedule around things anymore. Like I definitely have in the past, but it's also like kind of moving towards that. Again, I don't have as much time throughout the day to play a bunch of things, so it's kind of sit
Mm,
down, start my stream, run through all these faucets, play, then run through all my faucets again as we're going, depending on whenever things are done, and then kind of when it's time to finish, then I'm not going to be on again until the next night, and it seems to work out fairly well. It's definitely grown to the point where I've got too many games and I need to cut some back. But that's also fortuitous because a lot of those games are kind of drying up now. Like
mm,
Realm is definitely one that you can kind of easily sit there and actively play for a good little while. But then it kind of starts to get fewer and farther between on the things that you can actually do. And in order to kind of keep really up with the pace with growing, then it becomes more of a you've got to be on it kind of all day and whatnot. So I've been more pulling away from Realm, and then Mining Network has gone down recently. There's going to be no more support from the devs on that project. And then there are a couple of other projects that I've been involved in, like NFD, where things have kind of reached a plateau and leveled off to where I'm a lot more just kind of easygoing and passive on them and don't have to spend nearly as much time interacting with them, which is always nice. Even though NFD is becoming less profitable lately, like I've already kind of made more than enough profit off of it that I don't need to put anything more into it, and I can just kind of keep feeding out of it, which is part of why it's also seeming to go down a little bit, because I feel like that honestly shouldn't necessarily be a scenario that is easily reachable. And I feel like that's kind of the spot where a lot of these games have gotten to, and that's why they're kind of going down, because that it seems to be like that's every gamer's kind of desire with a lot of these games, is to get to the point where I can start taking out without putting in, and then when more people are doing that, that's when the economy itself dies. So that's the kind of constant struggle I feel, and that's definitely where Rising Star is at the negative side of that. Splinterlands is constantly trying to fight that. A lot of these Wax games haven't even. They've just given up on it. And so that's why it is kind of a constant battle of trying to find where that good gameplay combined with that ROI is going to be, because unfortunately so many of these games are just ROI focused. There's no good gameplay to them. And then when there is that good gameplay, the game blows up, and then that ROI model ends up kind of killing it.
Yeah, you're right. So I hope, and I'm still waiting for a good Hive game that manages to combine all this and to really make a great game, focus on the gameplay. And of course, I mean, it's always great when you can earn with the games, but for me, it's also very important that it's a nice gameplay, it's a good story. And I hope that we will see more games in the future where this is more the focus, so not so much about earning, but about a great game, and as a side effect you can earn. But so let's see what future brings. I mean, there are a lot of games on Hive that are currently developed. Many people are working on a lot of games, so I'm pretty excited to see what comes out during the next year or so.
And actually, like that last sentence was kind of a perfect segue into a question that I do normally ask most of the people that I have on these interviews. So play to earn, play and earn, or Web3. What is your preferred nomenclature when you're talking about crypto games in general?
I think I never asked myself this question, actually. I don't know if it's not so important for me to how I call it. I don't know. I mean, play to earn is the phrase that I use a lot, and that is so common. But I also think that it takes away from the games somehow, because if you just call them play to earn, then earn is really the center of the game. And like I just said, I don't know, it's sad somehow that many games are just played because of this earn factor, and people don't really care how the game is. They just want to earn. I don't know. It's not as a gamer, my whole life, that's not my focus. I mean, it's great that you can play games and you earn with it, because like yourself, you used a lot of time in your life for playing games. You never earned anything with it, right? Or maybe, okay, if you sold some stuff in Diablo or in World of Warcraft, it was a way to earn, but it was never the focus. It was about the game. And so it's nice that you can earn with playing, but it takes away a lot for me from the real game. So the focus is not on the gameplay anymore, on the story anymore. And I hope this really changes again
Yeah, and I think
because,
that's kind of the heart behind the argument is because people will say play to earn, and then that is kind of the concept that gets it's put into your head is that you are playing not because it's a
to
good
earn.
game, but because you are
Yeah.
playing to earn. And then so there has been a kind of a noticeable shift, especially within kind of the crypto Twitter crowd, to push away from play to earn and towards play and earn. And then there are
Hmm.
some people who just want to take out the play and the earn entirely and only specifically call it Web3 gaming. and
Yeah.
and that's kind of there is on the one hand it's just a name, on the other hand there is a philosophy behind
Yes.
the name. And so that's why, like, I feel like at first I felt personally like, well, it's just a name. Who cares? Play to earn, play and earn is such a minute difference. But the more I really started thinking about it, I realized that it kind of there is an important distinction there, and
Yes.
it's something that I've kind of been also trying to draw more attention towards because yeah, I mean, like, for I know it's not your favorite topic, but for Splinterlands, which is undeniably one of the leaders in the genre to this point, um,
Absolutely.
like for their social media challenge, you have to tag it with hashtag Hive and hashtag Play to Earn, and not even Play to Earn, but Play to Earn, the numeral. So, like, yeah, I feel like as a whole, as a community, that is something that maybe we should be taking a better look at, and maybe we do need to get rid of play to earn because play and earn is a better model. Or are some people right that maybe we should just skip that entirely and go straight to Web3? Because on the one hand,
Mm.
yeah, it's just a name. On the other hand, no, it's really not, because that's I feel like is part of how we get away from the perception problem and the reality problem.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I hope this changes at some point because, as a gamer, I always wanted to create my own game. Um, this is a lot of work, but I'm sure I will do this in the future. And for me, I just hope I could create a game that people play because it's a great game. And then people say, "Oh, I can earn with it." Well, that's a nice side effect, but they're not playing it because it's play to earn, but they play it because it's a great game and it's on Web3. And so I really agree that this focus needs to be shifted on the wording, and also for the game studios, I think it also needs to shift to Web3, and it's not about earning at the first point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I like play and earn as an improvement to play to earn, but I feel like, yeah, we need to kind of just step beyond that as a whole, as a community. And also I feel like play to earn and play and earn both kind of by necessity and by design they appeal to the wrong kind of crowd. Because yeah, the ones that are only playing to earn or because they can earn, those are the wrong ones that we were not necessarily looking for. Most
Yeah.
people don't play Magic the Gathering because the cards can go up in value. They play Magic the Gathering because they enjoy the game, and they just happen
Right.
to. Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of people who do invest in Magic, but they're there as a player first. Even like Rudy, who has come up on these interviews a couple of times before. Like, I is Rudy honestly good for the game of Magic? Probably not. I'm glad that he's there because he definitely, has an audience that is important. Because if you don't have those investors, then there is no appreciation in the assets.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, you need the players, or there is no appreciability to the
Right.
assets. So
Right.
What do you feel about that kind of aspect? Like, as a gamer, do you look to take profits when you can? Do you, are you strictly for fun, and the asset sides of things don't matter as much? How do you approach this whole system?
I mean, of course, I'm also playing these games to try and earn with them. So I play a lot of Hive and Wax games. I also invested a lot of money in the beginning, but of course, my goal is also to get money out of it again, and just to, yeah, to try and build up assets, to try and build up more money. For me, yeah, maybe it's a different intention for me, because I'm trying to build up these earnings in this game to just save this money to put into my own projects. So it's not like I take out the earnings for my life. I just save them for my projects on Hive. Or so it's a different intention behind this earning, because everything I earn, I just put back into designers that make NFTs for me, or I don't know, my own game at some point maybe, or yeah, I just invest this money in my own creative things, I would say. So of course I really want to earn with them, that I have more money for my own projects. But like I said, it's not my first intention. And with, like, let's say offline games with Magic the Gathering, I started playing it because I just loved it. It was great. I was, like I said, 9 or 10 years old, and it was just a great game. And I just played it for so many, I don't know, so many times in my life with friends. It was always a great aspect also to meet with people, to meet with friends, have a nice evening, play some games. So this was always the focus for me, and it was not about earning. And of course, I still have all my Magic the Gathering cards, and I have a lot. I have, like, I don't know, 25,000 or so. So I have a whole cupboard full of cards, and I think they would be worth a lot already if I would sell them. Would be a lot of, I don't know, few $1,000 at least. But it's not, for me, it's not about selling them and get the few $1,000. I would never sell them. It's just, I don't know, it's a big part of my life as a gamer, and I just love the stuff, and I don't know, I'm emotionally detached to it somehow. So it's not about selling this stuff and get money out of it. No. Mm-mm.
No, I totally understand, and I'm kind of jealous that you've never sold your Magic cards. When did you get into Magic? How long have you been flipping the cardboard?
When it came out in Germany, actually.
Oh, so
So
so OG. When
first
was that?
edition,
What's that?
I think like 94 or something.
Okay, so
95 maybe, yeah, 94, like something like that. So I have alpha cards at home. So this is like, I mean, if you look what a alpha booster costs now, it's impossible to buy it. It's more than 10,000 euros for one alpha booster pack.
yeah,
And I
that's.
still have alpha cards. I mean, I don't have a Black Lotus or any very expensive card, but it's still alpha cards, so I would never sell them.
Do you have an
Yeah.
Alpha Bolt, Lightning Bolt?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well,
I don't think
look
so.
through
But
your
I
stuff.
think,
If you see one of those, I want to buy
but
a
I have,
gift,
I think
especially
I
if
have
it's
one.
German.
Yeah, I have at least a beta one, I think, but no alpha. But I have old ones of these. Yeah,
Okay.
these were like the first basic cards you could buy, right?
Yeah, I
So
mean, Lightning
yeah,
Bolt is one of it was definitely in alpha, and there was actually a series of 1 mana instants that do 3 of X in alpha. Lightning Bolt is the red one. Giant Growth is the green one, which is target creature gets +3/+3.
yeah,
Healing Salve was the white one, gain 3 life or prevent 3 damage. Dark Ritual was the black one, gain 3 black mana, and then the ridiculous one was the Ancestral Recall, which was target player draws 3 cards. And that's the one that is absolutely broken and banned everywhere. But
yeah,
Bolt and Giant Growth are the three that were good and yet kind of borderline too good. Now you don't tend to get combat tricks on par of +3/+3 for 1 mana. +3/+3 is usually 2 mana, and you gain an ability along with it. Lightning Bolt has been deemed to be too powerful for standard. Kind
Mm,
of one of my running jokes is I'll play standard when Lightning Bolt plays standard. Uh, Now in standard, you tend to get two damage for 1 mana, or if there's 3 damage for 1 mana, then it can't just target everything.
yeah,
So Bolt is my personal favorite card in the game,
I
and
see.
I'm working on a collection of every Bolt that's ever printed. I have the
Oh,
newer Bolts in most languages. I have like a lot of the promo Bolts, and I've got a lot of the older Bolts, but I don't have the oldest Bolts. And so, if you happen to have extra copies, of course, don't want to take anything that you've only got one of or whatnot from a fellow collector, but if you do have any that would be available and you ever going through your cards and happen to think of
I,
that while you
of
are,
course. I will have a look at them. I will have a look.
then
Maybe because it's so many cards that I don't really know what I have, to be honest.
No, I
So,
fully understand that. I recently got rid of like my 15,000 cards, like the bulk. Like I got rid of the collection. I
okay.
kept my Bolt collection, I kept my Hydras collection, and I kept my decks. Because I kind of came to the realization it's like I've moved these cards, cross country twice. I've
Yeah.
really like, and they're just taking up room, especially like with COVID, couldn't play face to face anymore.
Yeah.
So also a lot of my joy of having these cards is kind of taken away with that. So
Mm,
and because I'm not playing nearly as often, I'm not deck building. I'm not strategizing nearly as often. And plus, with some of the tools that you have now out there, like Gatherer and whatnot, like if I'm gonna play test a deck and whatnot, I can do that without having to sort through all of the cards. I can do it a lot faster. And then I can just buy the cards that I actually want in the
it's
deck
true.
rather
Yeah.
than using what I have to make a substandard version of the deck. So between all of those things, plus I wanted to deploy some of those assets into Splinterlands, a game there where I can actually use them. And I
Mm,
wanted to, some of it went to, paying real life bills and whatnot. So it's like, okay,
okay.
it's time to sell the cards, but I still got my decks this time. I have sold out multiple times previously because I just quit the game for one reason or another, and sold everything. Like the first time I sold everything, it had a full set of alpha, including Black Lotus, including the rest of the Power
Oh,
Nine, including all of the duels, and it's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, and I was use that money to go party. And
shit.
whatnot because I got friends that don't play Magic now, so I'm gonna just sell all my Magic cards and I'm gonna go
Mm,
party with them and yeah, it was stupid, so stupid. Why, Rick? Why? But it's like now at least I know I kept most of the best stuff because I've got my collections and I've got my decks, and obviously most of the best cards that I owned are in the decks that I'm playing.
mm.
So what's your go-to deck? Like if you can play anybody, any format, you get to play your favorite deck. What is it?
I don't know. I never played on tournaments or so. We only played with friends and we made our own. It was not like we were always playing standard. It was just like normally we were allowed to use all the cards we had. So it was not bound to certain cards.
Yeah, casual, which honestly
Yeah.
is still the best format for a non-competitive sense. Like casual is
Yeah.
just so much fun.
Yeah. So everybody can just use cards whatever they want. And I normally play blue decks. I always play blue decks. So just
Island,
control,
most powerful
control.
card in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. So it's not a specific deck. Yeah, I love blue. And what I love to play also are artifacts. And I have a deck where no the whole deck doesn't really cost mana. So if you pull right, then you're just I don't
Yep.
know, it takes you what like two rounds and then you're done. You win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
combo decks, affinity decks, and blue magic. You sound like a competitive Magic player. Because that's really a big part of it. Absolutely, I do love the the competitive aspect of it as well. The Friday Night Magic, the
Hmm.
Grand Prix, and whatnot. And the kind of the big problem with it is everybody is playing the same exact decks. Like there's going to
Mm.
be one or two cards of variation between the top eight decks,
Hmm.
and there'll probably be three decks in that top eight, but at most you're
Hmm.
seeing one or two cards of variation between them. I really do love the purer form of Magic, where it's you've just got your collection and it's whatever you got, and you're building the best thing that you can out of it. Um, and I that part of Magic is really my favorite, but it does require having that huge collection as well.
Yeah.
And like for the longest time, even playing standard modern, I'm trying to keep up by just putting together whatever I can and playing against the people that are building their deck and then buying their deck, like putting it together first and then just making it happen. And I
Hmm.
realized how much more you know powerful that is in terms of actually playing the game on a competitive level. And the first time I ever put together an actual tier one deck, I built mono red Pauper Burn, and then the day that I was going to finally get to play it at my local game store was the day that they shut down because of COVID.
Oh, no.
And it was just like heartbroken. I have never been able to play that deck in a competitive scene. And yet
Ah,
I love it. I've play tested it so much. I've played it against all my friends. I've played it against modern decks. I've played it against legacy decks. Like, I don't care. Give me a chance to play my Pauper deck. I will whip that shit out in a heartbeat. And that is like now that I've actually played a streamlined, like an actually net deck list, I understand the the appeal behind it because it plays so much better than any deck I've ever put together just on my
okay.
own. But even like when it comes to those, I'd say modern Merfolk is my favorite deck that I've put together, at least that I have right now.
Hmm.
Aside from like my super janky like Hydra builds, which are also crazy fun. First time I ever won a Friday Night Magic. Also, pretty much the only time I've really ever enjoyed Commander as a
Hmm.
format was it was a Commander Friday Night Magic. So it was still 1-on-1, and it was only one game per round instead of three. Obviously, no sideboards. But because the games go so long in Commander format, like it worked, it came down to me and my best friend being at the last table at the end of the night, and everyone else had finished with their deck. They're just all the whole damn establishment is just surrounding us because our game is going long, and it's my 5-color Progenitus Hydra tribal deck against
Okay.
his 5-color Reaper King Scarecrow tribal deck, and it was just insane. And I was like, I was having just the dickens of a time trying to keep up because he just kept clearing everything off my board one by one by playing those scarecrow triggers. And then I finally start getting some pressure on the board, and it's getting to the point where he is not getting enough triggers to actually be able to keep up with the shit that I'm laying down. And then I managed to actually get in and attack and go crazy and tap out because on the attack, after no blocks declared, I got a flying Hydra Broodmaster and or Broodmother, and I managed to monstrous her for 127 in the air. So I hit him for all of that damage, and then just in case he managed to survive that, I now have 127 Hydras sitting back, ready to rock for the next turn, just in case. And the crazy thing is, he actually could have won that game, but he missed a combo because he had like 25 lands out, but he only had one plains. And as far as he
Mm.
can see, he did not have a second white source. He had Door to Nothingness in play. So at any time, he could have just paid 10 mana, two of each color, and blinked me from existence. he forgot that he had a Kaleidostone because it had gotten buried under a bunch of other cards. And so he missed the ability to tap and sack that to get that second white. And he could have
Uh,
probably won the game 3 turns earlier. But we were
oh,
so in, the battlefield was just so mangled. He missed that artifact. Neither of us realized it until we were cleaning up. And I was like, oh shit, bro, you should have won that one.
yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the cards that are out. So I know this. Yeah.
But yeah, so I love Commander as a format. I just don't like Commander because multiplayer Magic is not cool to me. Like it seems like there's always one person just getting ganged up on and eliminated,
Mm,
and like at the same time, if you try and make it a no politics style scenario, then that just gives somebody else an advantage because then you build a deck that doesn't have to worry about getting taken out early, so you get to build, and then you're just absolutely unstoppable later. And it's like all of those things kind of ebb and flow into what Magic is, but I've also found that I usually tend to be the one getting ganged up on at the table because if I'm going to build a commander deck, I'm going to show up with something like Nikasar. I know he's not nearly as threatening now as he used to be, but yeah, Nikasar with 13 wheels in the deck, that's a pretty deadly combination. And so as soon as he hits the table, people don't care what's in your deck; they care that you're gone.
yeah, of course.
And then something like my more fun decks like the Progenitus Tribal, like that's a great deck if you get to build up, but the games don't actually tend to go long enough for you to get to build up
True.
unless things are kind of on that no politics style thing, and that's again rather rare. Like you gotta let that deck build up to really happen, and if it doesn't, then you're not getting anywhere, and that's a risk that you take with playing not even mid range but like big range.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Do you have a favorite creature type or anything? Do you like blue magic because of the counter spell or the card draw?
Yeah.
What is it that draws you?
Counterspell, wizards. Yeah.
Nice. I've always been drawn to blue. I think green is probably my favorite color just because I love big creatures so
Mhm.
much, and then I also really love the direct damage aspect of fire. But yeah, blue control is just so strong. It's like if you're trying to play not blue, you're intentionally putting yourself at a disadvantage. And I'm not saying that other colors can't compete, but it really does feel like everything that's not blue is just a little substandard to
Yeah.
blue.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The game is just great because it's so complex and it's working for so many years. And I really hope to see something like that in a Web3 game someday. Really a complex strategy, complex gameplay. Yeah, this would be awesome.
Yeah, and that's I feel like we are getting to that point where card games are finally starting to really put in some of that complexity. With Splinterlands, we've got the land and the Battle 2 aspect coming out. Astral Revelation sounds like it's going to have some really engaging decision making content. How is the Click Ink one going to work as far as the battle or the crafting? Sorry.
How, sorry, can you repeat the question? How is what gonna work?
How is crafting gonna work as far as the like battling is concerned or whatnot, as far as the
Yeah,
actual gameplay mechanics?
it's one against one, so one versus one, and it's not an auto battle, like I said. So you really have to play every move, every card, and it's I don't know if I'm allowed. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say at this point because the game is still not out. So actually, I don't really know what's okay to say and what
Fair
it's not
enough. I,
okay.
I definitely don't want to be getting you into trouble. I just want to give you ample chance to advertise your project. So don't worry about it.
Thanks.
So is I noticed Craft Inc. is, and I've been receiving a lot of ink tokens from a lot of the liquidity pools that I'm in. Is that the
Mhm.
token for that game? Like, am I already
Yes,
kind of? Hell yeah!
yes,
I love to hear it, and I'm already liquidity pooling a bunch of those. So already
great,
supporting the
great.
project and working on helping it grow, even incidentally, just by nature of the things that I already do. But I'm
Yeah,
super
great.
excited. Do we have a date on like when alpha is going to be released? When there's going to be a full release? Are we like a percentage on the roadmap? Is you know tell us whatever you can comfortably tell us, let us know without getting in trouble, because obviously that's the
Yeah,
most important thing.
I think the roadmap is already out. So I'm not gonna tell a secret if I tell you the roadmap, but I just need to find it. Ah, it's here in this post. Yeah. So there is a plan in the second quarter of this year that there's a mini game first. So like a small version, a mini game, and then the basic the big game release is supposed to be in the third quarter of the year. But the first cards will be sold, I think, during the next 4 or 6 weeks somehow. So this is where you can already buy the booster packs.
Okay, awesome. So we're gonna have a pack sale coming up here before too long. We're looking at possibly Q3 for a release. How confident is that Q3?
Um, so that the mini game comes out in Q2 is pretty confident. I think that the game releases in Q3 is, I mean, it's always hard to say. So I'm not a friend of telling people something and then not keeping your word. So I don't like that. Um, I mean, I'm not making the schedule. I'm only making the music and the sound effects. So it's not depending on me how far or how fast the game will be out. So it's hard for me to tell if this is really realistic or not. But I know that the team is working very hard. So we have game meetings like 2 times a week, every week, for everybody to work together on the game. And then they meet with 2 people or they work on it alone, and they are really focused on what they are doing. And I think if they tell something, then they will definitely try to hold their word and stick to it. Yeah, because they're very focused on this project right now.
Fair enough, fair enough. And yeah, again, don't expect anything hard and fast, just trying to give the audience an idea of kind of the expectations. If
Yeah.
anyone has not hit a bang play, go ahead and type that into the chat. We are just about to run a grubfish. I have secured the prize. It's going to be You Say to Me by Raven featuring Elena K, the Matt Nor remix. We're going to go ahead and give away a track Inside Rising Star.
Nice.
And I will play the grubfish when we actually launch it. It will be visible on screen for y'all to see. Lotnik, unfortunately, I don't think that grubfish can actually pull in the commands from YouTube. You might have to switch over to the Twitch real quick. Shinku, it's okay. I can send you the song, and then you can, gift it to somebody else, or you can send it back because I need to download it to add it to my my playlist for when I am streaming as well. But it's all good. Plus, the cool thing about these tracks is that you actually like it's like if you bought it on a CD or whatnot. It gives you the right to download it, and
Yes.
and so that's actually like, how do Rising Star tracks work like that? Like, are all artists kind of tacitly giving permission for them to be used like on a stream or something like that? Or I know that you also have some that is copyright free, some that is not. Like, how does all that work?
You mean in Rising Star or with my music in general?
Well, specifically for the Rising Star tracks that are bought through the game, But then, as a larger question for you in general, and how you do things. And I know that you mentioned that you were with Panda Beats, and I knew that you were part of that project. Is that your project, or is that something that you are a part of?
It's not my project, so the label owner is someone else, but we were four people in the beginning starting this label, and I was one of the four people. So it's the project owner that really handles all this, but he's not producing music. And then we have people like me who produce the music. So I'm one of the main producers, and I was one of the first producers to make music for the label. Yeah.
Okay. And and that's not necessarily everybody involved on every track. That's kind of a group of people working independently, sometimes with crossover, sometimes without.
Yeah, normally we work on our own in this music, so it's normally like I produce the music alone and I just produce a whole album. So normally it's like 20 tracks from the same genre, and I normally produce it alone. That's the basic workflow we normally have. So there's not so much collabs and crossovers because how should I say this? Making music for this label is different than making music for Raven because we are trying to still maintain a high quality in this music, of course. But for me, it's much easier to produce a Beatrex track than to produce a Raven track. So it might sound stupid, but Beatrex and Panda Beats is still more about quantity, right? Because it's important that it's always 20 tracks on an album so that the album is not too short for people to play on their streams. So we normally try to make one album to like 50 or 60 minutes of streaming.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, the album is done after 10 minutes. I have to put on a new one and a new one. So this is what we always try to make a whole album with 20 tracks. And it's not easy to make 20 tracks. It's fucking a lot of work. And so with Beatrex, and we all kind of optimized our workflow in this music that we managed to finish 20 tracks. Because if I would make 20 Raven tracks, it would take me like, I don't know, 2 years, because I'm so into it and I want to change this detail, I want to work on this. And sometimes a Raven track takes like 50 hours or 60 hours to produce because I'm just so perfectionist about it. If I would put 50 hours in each Beatrex track, I would never get this album done. So of course the workflow is much faster, and that's why we are not collabing on these tracks, because it takes more time normally if you work with 2 or 3 people on the same track as if you just do it alone.
Gotcha.
So normally I work alone, and for one Beatrex song I normally take about 5 to 6 hours until it is done. So it's really like sit down, make one track in one day, get it done, next. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense actually. Like, and so how often are you guys putting out like a new album on Panda Beats? I know not too long ago I went through there, once I found out about it and the fact that it was, copyright free, and I got a lot of it specifically for, use while I was streaming. I think I downloaded pretty much everything that was on there. So
Cool.
how often is there like new stuff?
So our plan is to release one album each month. So most of the time that's actually working, but sometimes it's not working because, like I said, somebody still has to produce all this music, and we're not so many producers. We are like how many? Like maybe 5 producers. And so this means that everybody of us would have to put out one album every 5 months. And this might sound like a lot of time, but if you have your other projects, it's not a lot of time for 20 tracks. So I didn't produce an album for 1 year, I think, because I just didn't have time. I was so into my own other projects that I just didn't have time to produce an album. So sometimes it's not working to release one new album each month. Yeah, but normally at least every 2 months there will be new music. Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's awesome. That's a heck of a schedule to keep up. That's a lot of content to
Yeah,
put out there. And I mean, I actually get a lot of compliments to the music when I'm playing it on stream because
cool.
I'm putting it out there a lot. And basically, I just have pretty much everything from Panda Beats and then a couple other sources that are also approved for use on Splinterlands TV. Um, which means that they've been thoroughly checked and vetted to make sure that everything's copyright free, that
Sure,
we're not going to
sure.
risk a strike, anything like that. And so I've just got all of that just on random repeat, and
Cool.
you can definitely tell when you come on, fuck with Newman. It's definitely always kind of catches the attention whenever that song comes on, and
Cool.
I like the different energy that it immediately brings because it's usually like a significant step up from whatever came before it, and it's always different because it's always on random. Because I like a lot of different music, and I tend to kind of mix things up a bit.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for using it. It's great that you
My
do.
pleasure. Now I know I had only booked you until this time, so if you have to be on your way soon, I want to be respectful of your time. If you have a little bit longer to kick around, then you're of course more than welcome. I'm not kicking you off by any means, but I also know it's getting a little late over there in Germany, so it's totally up to you. I am going to say to the chat, Grubfish crashed, so hit your bang plays again. I have it reloaded, and we will do this giveaway here in just a couple of moments.
Yeah, I think I have another like 15 minutes or so. So if you have a few last questions, it's fine. So there's no problem.
Alrighty, fantastic. So, what is your favorite genre of music? If you had to narrow it down to one.
Oh, hmm, that's tough. That's very tough. I would say electronic, maybe industrial, weird electronic stuff. So I don't know if there's really a name for this genre. I like different music. I like weird stuff with different beats, different sounds. And this is hard to find actually. It's not like you search for this one genre and then you find exactly this music, but it's like little you find little pieces in many electronic genres. So here's a song that fits, here's a song that is different and weird, and but it's really hard to put a name to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get you on that one. I've got a fairly eclectic taste myself, and kind of runs the gamut. And yeah, it's not like there's any one genre that I can just listen to for happiness or happily and just not have anything else. So it's definitely not the easiest of
Hmm.
all possible questions. What do you find yourself listening
Yeah.
to on the day to day more often than not?
Well, in a normal day when I'm working on stuff, I normally listen to very chilled music like lo-fi stuff. So because it's for me it's very good music to work. It's not distracting, it's calming me down, it's just chilled. So I really like to listen to lo-fi during the normal day. Yeah.
Nice. I actually just recently learned, well, not super recently, but my lady actually introduced me to lo-fi, and it's definitely great, kind of background music while you're focusing on something else, whether that be work or cooking or just
Yes.
conversation. It's good stuff. I really enjoy it, and I'm
Right.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and run this. Jim, get in the giveaway. Bang play. We've got the one and only Raven here. We're giving away one of her tracks, and I want to say thank you so much for hanging out. It has definitely been a great time. Go ahead and choose game.
Yeah. Thanks for having me here. It was awesome to also talk about games, with somebody who really knows all these games and understands.
Oh, I don't know about all that now. I'm nothing special in the games world. I'm just a guy that enjoys playing a little bit. And then here we go.
Yeah, but you seem to play the same games than me, so that's great.
I guess there is something to be said for taste. Yes, Lotnik, you are playing for an album on Rising Star. As I smack my mic. Do you ever do karaoke, or is that fake music to you?
No, it's not fake music. I mean, you mean on stage or so?
Yeah, or like just
like going to a bar?
Yeah.
I think I'm too shy for this, actually.
What? You do live shows though, right?
Yeah, but not as a singer or so. I always used to do live shows as a drummer, and that's a different thing, because you're just sitting in the back and just have your drum kit around you with some safe spot somehow. It's not like you're standing in the front. So it's totally different.
Yeah, no, I get you. Gary, go ahead and drop your name in the chat so I can send you your prize. Yeah, you're right. There is a difference with a mic in your hand and being out front. I guess the drums, they kind of hide you a little bit. So I can understand that. It's still just kind of... I can't even imagine that as a musician. Like I love that being on the stage with the spotlight, all eyes on you type of thing. That's absolutely something that I kind of live for. And
okay,
that's probably no surprise to anybody, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm different. I don't know. I like to work on my own, on my stuff, and being in the front, and I don't know, I'm very shy often. And also, it makes me nervous to have interviews and stuff. I love doing this, but it's always making me nervous. So, yeah, I'm more I don't know, I'm a raven. I like to stay in the shadows most of the time. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So fitting name, much more fitting than Rick on the Mountain when he lives in Florida, right?
Well.
All right, so I got one final question, and it might be the toughest of all of them, but I'm going to need an honest answer from you.
Okay.
Greatest drummer of all time, go.
I'm so bad with names, but the one from Blink 182 is my best drummer of all times. It's called? He's I always forget the first name. Parker.
Travis Parker. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't 100% sure. So
yeah, he's insane. Insane. And it's not possible to play this weird stuff on the hi-hat and so fast. And it's crazy because when he normally played a gig, then his hands started to bleed because he was playing so hard. And he told in an interview that he used glue to just put on his hands to seal these wounds. And that's so crazy shit. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly have never been a huge fan of Blink-182. I mean, their music is fun and whatnot, but I did not know that he was hardcore like that. I've definitely used super glue to seal up wounds a couple of times, but that's wartime scenarios, not up on stage just going in. So that's a lot of respect for him for that. Like that's hardcore right there. That's like the drummer from Def Leppard, like losing an arm and still playing along. How?
Yeah.
I don't know, but good on you, man.
Yeah, crazy.
I think the favorite drumming experience that I ever had was actually that Alice concert. He went backstage for a set change before coming out to do Department of View, and it was like a half-hour set change, and he had two drummers with him. And when he went back, his guitarist went back, and one of his drummers went back, and the other one just went balls to the wall for that whole half an hour. And like 5 minutes into it, my arms fell off. Like, dude was just going absolutely fucking ape shit on those goddamn drums, and like, I'm surprised the drums survived. It was just mind blowing, and that was the first time I really actually developed a intense appreciation for how hard drummers actually have to work in order to, you know, to make everything flow. And, you know, as a bassist, well, I'm not claiming that I'm a good bassist. I'm definitely no Trenton Lundy, but like, that was really the instrument that I kind of grew up on, and I'm not very good at it because I lack finger mobility,
Okay.
and that makes fretting a problem. But
Mhm.
even as a bassist, like, you think you're the one that's carrying the groove. No, the drummer is the one carrying everything, and you're just more visible about it. Like,
Yeah.
we work together to carry the groove, but it's not me doing it solo by any means.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it's actually sometimes it's hard work to be a drummer. It's like exercise. It's workout because if you play fast stuff, I
Yeah,
mean,
like, you're all over the place.
yeah, I remember I was playing in a punk band once. And this was crazy when we had gigs. It was like 90-minute gigs or so. I was done for the next 2 days because it was so exhausting and everything hurt next day. I mean, it was so much fun, but it was hard work. Yeah.
So, is your favorite Megan Trainor song "Spin Them Sticks"?
I'm not sure if I actually know this one, to be honest. I
uh,
know Megan Trainor, of course, but not sure if I know this song. I need to have a listen to it.
it is one of her deeper cuts, and it's really, really quite fun. It's I got a
Okay.
thing for drummers, how the drum beat blows my mind. I got a thing
Okay. I
for
need to listen
drummers,
to it.
so maybe throw off all them chicks. So maybe show off all them tricks and spin them sticks.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Alrighty, well, I want to be respectful of your time, and thank you so much for joining us. Of course, I'll give you a few minutes. If there's anything that you want to talk about, go ahead and let people know where they can find you, where they can find the projects that you are part of. And you know, when we finish up, send me whatever links you want. I've already got a few, but I will definitely on the YouTube video. I will put all of your links in the description and everything like that to make everything easy as much for people.
Cool. Thanks. So yeah, first, thank you for having me. It's always great to be on an interview. It's always great to be able to talk about projects, but it was also great today to talk about gaming and yeah, to meet someone who plays the same games, who likes the same stuff. This was also a great aspect today of this interview. Um, yeah, so I'm currently coming back into all my creative stuff, all my Hive stuff, because after 3 months of being sick, I kind of lost my routine a bit. So yeah, this year is still starting slow with my projects, but I have a lot of projects I'm working on and a lot of exciting ones. I mean, it takes time because on most of them I'm working alone, and yeah, I realized I have to slow down a bit because the last 3 months showed me, okay, last year I was just working like crazy, like 70 hours each week on my stuff. And it really brought me, I don't know, it really put my name out there. It was great because so many people last year started to follow me. So many great Hive things happened for me last year, but I just have to find a different pace and yeah, a little bit slower, but I will continue working on all this stuff. And so the next steps will be like the game I told you about. I'm pretty excited to make the music. I already started making the music, making the sound effects. So that's great. I felt honored that they asked me and that they wanted to have my music on it. So that's pretty exciting. And apart from this project, I'm working on my own stuff, of course. So last year I created my own Hive token, which is called Raven. And it's like a fan club token, and people who hold it get certain things. So it's mostly I release stuff through NFTs, and people just get art and music through these NFTs. And it was a pretty exciting journey so far, creating an own token as a musician. I think I was the first one on Hive to do this. And working on NFTs and releases is a lot of work, and working on all of this or most of this alone just takes time. So sometimes I would love to speed it up, and I would love to bring even more content to my token holders. Yeah, but sometimes it just takes time. But I'm pretty excited about the next release I will have for them. Like I said, it's a song, a new Raven song. I worked for more than a year on all this stuff, on the NFTs, on the song. So this is will be a pretty exciting moment for me, because it will be the first time I'm releasing a song in a very, very different way. I'm not telling you right now, it's still secret, but it will be not a normal, hey, here's my new song. So it will be in a different way. And I'm pretty excited to just try out this new, strategy. Let's see how people find this, if they like it or not. So I'm pretty excited about this project, and hopefully it will only take like 4 more weeks until I can present it. Yeah, and apart from this, I'm working on, I'm working always on new music, new releases. But I'm trying to focus on this game first, to really make this music first. But besides, I'm also working on a new lo-fi album, which I'm making together with a friend. She's playing handpan. I don't know if you know this instrument. It looks like a UFO somehow. It's made of, and you just drum on it, but it has such a beautiful and relaxing sound.
Cool.
And it's perfect for lo-fi music. And we were searching for handpan lo-fi, and there's no handpan lo-fi on the market. It's crazy. It's really a niche. There's no music at all. So we're working on a handpan lo-fi album, and this is also exciting.
Fill a need.
Yes. So you see pretty many projects at the same time. And I am not good at having at being patient. So I really would love to get all this stuff out there tomorrow, but it's not possible. So I have to be patient, focus on one thing and then on the next thing, and just put out the stuff whenever it's ready. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing that my brother's the doctor, because I don't have any patience.
Yeah.
All right, well, y'all heard it here first. The alpha that Raven is going to have a new track coming out in roughly a month, give or take, and she's going to have some special new way to access that. So make sure that you are staying tuned and keeping abreast with the things that she's doing. We will have links to the Discord, Twitter, Leo threads, all the other ways to follow her and keep in touch with everything that's going on, because it's all fucking dope. And thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share and all of that fun stuff below. Thank you very much, and have a great night. As always, you have been on the mountain. I have been Rick. This has been Raven, and it's been a wonderful time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.